Everybody, it's Steph from the Hot Moving Podcast. So, man, this is sad, actually, man. Gregg Popovich, the head coach of San Antonio Spurs, he could not coach this season that much due to a medical situation he had early this year. People were saying it was a stroke, or Spurs saying it was a mild stroke, and he's been recovering from that. Okay, and then as of recent, he had a medical emergency at a restaurant. Where he was being, the ambulance came. Apparently, he was taken off on a stretcher. It's just not good, And look, man, I love Gregg Popovich. I think when Gregg Popovich is active, one of the best coaches in the NBA. But over the last few years, the season is he's been building. Okay, so the Spurs aren't the Spurs I grew up on with the Tim Duncan, Tony Parker, Manu Ginobili days, okay. With Boris Diaw, later on with Boris Diaw, and then eventually they added Robert Horry. There's always found ways to just those core Duncan, Manu, and Parker were the guys, and they always found ways to build around. And then of course we know what happened when Kawhi Leonard able to capture championship, his fifth championship. Having him, he's a great coach, man. Great coach. Just the last few years hasn't really been the best. Then they got Victor Wembanyama, and you're like, okay, Tim Duncan 2.0 in different package. Could this be the next era in the Gregg Popovich coaching cycle of finally getting back to prominence? Not the case, obviously. Then Victor Wembanyama he has health issues with a blood clot and everything, and the Spurs staff did their best to try to put something out there to give fans in San Antonio something to hope for, build towards next season. Unfortunately, they didn't make the playoffs and everything, but I do like their young players with Stephon Castle coming from Connecticut. Does Gregg Popovich want to coach? Is it time for him to retire, right? Is it time? He's 76 years old. Does he still want to do this? You hear him speak, he sounds very energetic still. Or before he went out, he's still very locked into basketball and coaching. I don't think there's anything else that he needs to do or prove. If he wants to continue to coach under these circumstances, just coming off of a stroke, and now, medical emergency at a restaurant with ambulance being shown up. Could that be? On the surface, could it be nothing? Could it be something? Maybe could it be something small? Sure. Is it a bigger deal than what we made out to be? No, but on the surface, seems like a pretty big deal to me. I like I said, I like Gregg Popovich, a lot of respect for what he's done, and really, what he built in San Antonio was just the ball movement, team chemistry, players really having to buy into his system, all for one mentality. The way the San Antonio Spurs play almost kind of remind me of New England. There's a San Antonio way of just a collective unit, all hands on deck, and he's done that. You know what I'm saying? For Gregg Popovich, you don't hear him too much. Obviously, out of sight, out of mind. Obviously, because of his stroke recently, but even the past couple of years and the lack of success the Spurs have been having, he doesn't get talked about enough as being, one of the greatest coaches of all time. I can't go down the rankings, but he's up there with Phil Jackson. I know Phil Jackson won multiple championships with 10, and I think he won one as a player. But look, and I get it. He's had Tim Duncan and stuff, but great coaches that win a lot usually pair with a great player. It's very rare to find an NBA coach that wins a lot of championships and they don't really have a franchise player, right? So I take nothing away from Gregg Popovich having Tim Duncan, and I think and Tony Parker. He found those guys, or at least Tony Parker for sure. But I know he got lucky. They found the lottery to draft Tim Duncan #1, but it worked out great, right? Was able to maximize his full potential and everything, and built a really unique culture in San Antonio. So, I believe his wife passed away a few years ago too. So he's been through a lot personally and medically now. You know what I'm saying? That is personal, all that stuff, medical and losing your loved ones. It's been a lot on Gregg Popovich, and he coached his team, and I remember a few years ago people were wondering if he's going to retire. He re-signs. The San Antonio Spurs re-signed Gregg Popovich. I think He also was the first to hire like a female assistant coach on his staff, I believe. I don't know if he's the first one, but I think he was the first one. Yeah, I think it was Becky Hammond is her name. So I mean, he's definitely broke some barriers or allowed opportunities for barriers to be broken in the NBA and everything. And we wish Gregg Popovich the best. He's definitely a huge part of the NBA family, and just kind of growing up, the battles of just growing up seeing Tim Duncan, the Spurs battling Shaq and Kobe. I mean, it's some epic series, man, between those two. And because growing up, I was a huge Tim Duncan fan. You know what I'm saying? I was more of a Tim Duncan fan growing up before Kobe, and then Kobe grew on me later on in my earlier teen years and stuff like that. But you can't tell the story of the NBA without Gregg Popovich. So, wish him a speedy recovery, man. If he wants to coach, cool. I don't know, man. It's just like the man's going to do what he wants to do. He's always, seems like a man that marches his own beat and everything. But, what does he have to prove left? Can he ride off into the sunset? He's always going to be part of the Spurs family and welcome. And you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't think he needs to be on the sideline coach anymore. He has nothing to prove. I mean, unless he truly wants to be there for Victor Wembanyama's development and try to win a championship with him. That's big aspirations of him to want to still do that at his advanced age. You know what I'm saying? And if he does decide to coach next season, will he be I think he'll be the oldest coach in the NBA, which is a testament to him for just being relevant. But the last few years, like I said, just hasn't been we haven't really seen the Spurs outside until they got Wembanyama. They've been pretty bad, but we see it with coaches that are great, and the back half of their career or the latter years tend to fizzle out. You know what I'm saying? But in my mind, Gregg Popovich is one of the greatest coaches of all time. You probably put him there in top 5. I'm sure if I'd make a list of top coaches, I think I definitely have to put him up there. And for what he's done for the game of basketball, wishing him well, man. Y'all let me know what y'all think about all this, man. Thanks for watching. Please like, subscribe. I'm out.